Central, 10 o'clock Pacific, 1 a.m. Eastern. I guess it's 11 p.m. Mountain. But fast and furious. I mean, this is just the tip of the iceberg as we learn more and more about what this government's been doing. Give us 60 seconds on that, George, and we'll say sayonara.
Well, we know what the government's doing. The plan has always been control, control, control. And if the heads of state, who are part of the group that gets to be in control, still stay in power, then they're going to go for it. It's unfortunately human nature to take care of your own, and that's what they're starting to do. They want total control for themselves first, and then, we're by the wayside. Well, one of the good things about the Alex Jones show and what we do on Coast to Coast is we keep batting away, and one day, people will stand up and say, enough is enough. Not just like the Occupy Wall Street folks or people who truly protest, but it will happen. There's no doubt in my mind that eventually we will win out.
Well, exactly. When you were talking about the Federal Reserve 10 years ago, maybe 1% of America knew it was private. Now it's, in polls, upwards of 80+% know it's private.
Yep.
So we are winning. I think that's why the tyrants are pushing so hard. George Norrie, Coast to Coast, AM.com. You'll be on tonight. Again, midnight Central, 10 o'clock Pacific, and I'll definitely, during a break tonight, be tuning in. Thank you so much for spending time with us, George.
Thanks, Alex. I look forward to interviewing you on Monday night.
Absolutely. I'm honored. God bless.
All right. Bye.
Wow, there goes George Norrie. Really hard to get him on radio, and he comes on with us. We're just so honored to know him and to talk to him. Out of everybody that's helped us at InfoWars, get the word out. You, the listeners, everybody. That's the guy who you've got to say has really, I mean, we would be on the map right now. We'd be having close to the same effect, but George Norrie just turbocharged it. And, I mean, the guy is very confident, very smart, very nice, really into justice. I know him personally, hung out with him some. And he's just a really great guy. I mean, most talk show hosts don't have other talk show hosts on. And he just has really helped pioneer this show and to get it out there. And we really owe George Norrie a huge, huge thanks for the InfoWar to help expose the globalists. Not just promoting my show and my material and my information, but more importantly, all the other guests he has on and the issues. You can say, well, he covers these things we can't prove or whatever. He took the show in a whole new direction. Before it was pure UFOs, ghosts, and goblins, which is all interesting, entertaining. The point is, he didn't swing it 180 degrees. He just took it about 90 degrees. Where there was all these other, issues that nobody ever covered at a level like that. So we salute him. We're going to go to break. We've got a bunch of guests coming up, including the one, the only David Icke and others, and then Mike Adams. I'm going to take a quick little break and play part of a little news piece we did on the bankers and all their arrogant statements. We're going to come back, get to some calls, and then David Icke, who's in New Zealand. We're working on time zones on that front. Oh, by the way, I haven't plugged this in 48 minutes. InfoWarsMoneyBomb.com. That's why we're here for 27 hours. If you want to donate so we can hire more crew, because it's killing us. I mean, I wasn't going to do a money bomb until I realized I needed the money again. Because you got 5 guys doing the nightly news, including myself, 4 people and then myself. And then we got 1 reporter, 1 video editor, 1 switcher guy. Everybody's multitasking. It's hard 5 nights a week. We need to get a couple more people so that we can get even more done and have somebody when somebody's got flu. Like one guy's got to go to a funeral Monday. One person already had vacation. It's going to be 3 of us doing the whole deal Monday. And we're going to be here. We're going to be live 7 o'clock. And then we've been working on the technology to stream it out right and everything. I mean, it's crazy. And I'm not complaining. But we need your support to get more equipment, hire more people, and do it comfortably and not have to worry about cutting other stuff to be able to do it. So donate at InfoWarsMoneyBomb.com, or if that site's slow because of all the traffic, InfoWars.com. And spread the word about this 27-hour broadcast that we're now, I don't know, what are we, almost 20 hours into this bad boy? And we got 21 hours. So let me see, 11 o'clock to 5, 6. So we're 21 hours, basically. 21 hours is left ahead of us. We're 6 hours into this right now, a little less than 6 hours into it, and we're going 27. So please spread the word. We got 21 hours left. We've got a rundown of who's coming up next at Infowars.com. The free video streams, everything. PrisonPlanet.tv, InfoWarsMoneyBomb.com, Infowars. It's going to be crazy. And I, the pot-bellied, pumpkin-headed redneck who loves liberty and hates tyranny, will be here with you. Great job to the crew. We'll be back after this piece on the banksters from the Nightly News a few weeks ago. And then we're going to go to the next information, callers and others. InfoWarsMoneyBomb.com. Be part of it. Stay with us.
What is the proper relationship, what should be the proper relationship between a chairman of the Fed and a president of the United States?
Well, first of all, the Federal Reserve is an independent agency, and that means basically that there is no other agency of government which can overrule actions that we take. So long as that is in place and there is no evidence that the administration or the Congress or anybody else is requesting that we do things other than what we think is the appropriate thing, then what the relationships are don't frankly matter. And I've had very good relationships with the President.
Are U.S. Treasury bonds still safe to invest in?
Very much so. I think this is not an issue of credit rating. The United States can pay any debt it has because we can always print money to do that. So there is zero probability of default.
The reason the Federal Reserve was founded a century ago was to try to address the problems arising from financial panics, which did, by the way, occur in an unregulated environment in the 19th century. We provided liquidity and short-term loans to help financial systems stabilize. We did that not because we particularly care about the managers.
You say it's not spending money. Well, it's money out of thin air. You put it into the market and you hold assets, and the assets aren't, they are diminishing in value. When you wake up in the morning, do you care about the price of gold?
Well, I pay attention to the price of gold, but I think it reflects a lot of things. It reflects global uncertainties. I think the reason people hold gold is as a protection against what we call tail risk, really, really bad outcomes. And to the extent that the last few years have made people more worried about the potential of a major crisis, then they have gold as a protection.
Do you think gold is money?
No.
It's not money. Even if it has been money for 6,000 years, somebody reversed that and eliminated that economic law.
Well, it's an asset. I mean, it's the same. Would you say Treasury bills are money? I don't think they're money either, but they're a financial asset.
Why do central banks hold it?
Well, it's a form of reserves.
Why don't they hold diamonds?
Well, it's tradition, long-term tradition.
So my question to you is, will you tell the American people to whom you lent $2.2 trillion of their dollars, will you tell us who got that money and what the terms are of those agreements?
We explain each of our programs. In terms of the terms, we explain the terms exactly. We explain what the collateral requirements are. We explain what
to whom did you explain that?
It's on our website.
Yeah, okay.
So all that information is available in our commercial paper program.
And who got the money?
Hundreds and hundreds of banks. Any bank that has access to the U.S. Federal Reserve's discount.
Can you tell us who they are?
No, because the reason that is counterproductive and will destroy the value of the program is that banks will not come to the business.
Isn't that too bad?
I left Goldman Sachs. I sold my shares in Goldman Sachs.
Tax deferred, too. You didn't have to pay any tax on your $200 million.
I sold my shares in Goldman Sachs.
The clause that if you come into the administration, you sell your assets, it's tax deferred. You don't have to pay If you had $200 million profit and you didn't have to pay any tax. Isn't that true?
Listen,
is that true or not? Yes or no?
It is. You do not pay a profit when someone, a tax when someone makes you sell assets. Maybe that was incentive
for you to become Secretary of Treasury so you didn't have to pay the tax there.
Oh. The next thing I would say to you, and say it very, very clearly, is I behaved with the...
You don't think you should have recused yourself when you asked Lehman to go in bankruptcy, you didn't put Bear Stearns in bankruptcy, and then you folded Merrill Lynch into... I mean, isn't there some point where you got to say, hey, I got a conflict of interest here? You don't feel any kind of scintilla of ethics on this thing at all?
Totally. I operated very consistently within the ethic guidelines I had as Secretary of the Treasury, and when it became clear that we had some very significant issues with Goldman Sachs and with
why didn't you recuse yourself
with Morgan Stanley, what I did then it would have been very wrong for me to recuse myself. What I did was I went and got a waiver from the ethics agreement, because when we had concerns...
Who is in charge of the ethics agreement?
What?
Who's in charge of the ethics agreement since you got a waiver?
We have a Office of Ethics and Treasury, and we have a White House Ethics Office.
I remember when I lost my mind. There was something so pleasant about that place. Even your emotions have an echo in so much space.
Okay, Mike Adams is coming up. David Icke is over in New Zealand, and he always ends up popping in. We're working out some different feeds here. In case David does call in early or on time or a little bit late with Mike Adams, we'll just let him interview Mike Adams. That should be interesting. Or Michael, go to break. I'll come back, interview Icke, and then put Adams back on, because Adams is here to host for a couple hours while I go over there and watercolor and pen and ink and acrylic paint stuff for the auctions that we're doing that are linked up at InfoWarsMoneyBomb.com to fund this operation, to buy the new equipment and get some more crew we need hired. And my goal is to get enough subscriptions in the next year to be able to syndicate this thing on TV and not have to do a Money Bomb next year. That is my goal. But I was looking at the numbers, and this Money Bomb is needed, so we're doing it. InfoWarsMoneyBomb.com. If you want to donate, I also want to thank the great folks over at Cabo Bob's here in Austin, Texas. They're listeners, and the owner over there is a fan of the show. We want to thank them for the great Mexican food. Don over there for the great Mexican food that they provided to the crew. I'm going to try not to tank up on too much of it, though, because I got to go paint. I was supposed to do this days ago, and then I just got so busy with the nightly news and everything else, I never did it. So, and we were going to videotape me doing this, but I don't know what we're going to do now. It's just gotten more and more insane by the minute. But I want to talk to Lance, Julio, Tina, and Zach, who've been holding. And then if Mike wants to open the phones up, I know he's got some guests coming on with some big breaking news. I'm sure he'll take some calls as well. And there'll be some big segments tonight where I do want to take your calls and get calls on with the guest. And plus, I've got to give people an update. We could have Mike do some updates on the amount of donations that have come in at InfoWarsMoneyBomb.com. But the issue is we've got 21 hours and 2 minutes left in this extravaganza in the fight against tyranny. And we've got a premiering here. He's done 6 months of research on everything she said, adding all these documents and video clips. And I said, stop, Aaron. It's got to air today. Never before seen or known stuff on Skull and Bones from Charlotte Iserby, who had family that was Skull and Bones, her dad and others. That's going to premiere tonight. We've got stuff that's going to premiere with Nick Baggage. It's just insane. And I've got some other surprises. Jaron wants to have a chair race around the office. I think we'll iPhone video it, so it'll be next to live, somewhere in the middle hours, the still hours of the night, and then put that up, some fun stuff. I didn't even ask Weldon Henson like last year, but I am undoubtedly not going to sing this year like a demonic tomcat. I'm going to have Weldon Henson, a great singer, come in here and sing. In fact, you heard it, Weldon. He won't be here. He's going to play tonight. We'll make him come after the gig. Yeah, call his butt. I noticed he was all dressed up. So I just had the idea to have Weldon in here. Now he's going to do it. Where's he playing tonight? You want to do a drum solo? I play the drums on top of my head, just like, all right. Yeah, by the way, guy doing the drums in like Fall of the Republic that sounds so awesome in that intro, just slaying on the drums. Chris in there. Chris, also known as Minion of Jaron. Anyways, I'm just joking. I'm a minion of, you guys have trained me well. They're all Vatican assassins in there, folks. Okay, enough humor. Let's go to Lance in Texas, then Julio, Tina, and Zach, and then we'll bring Mike Adams in here. Go ahead, Lance.
Well, if you're this delirious at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, I can't wait till tonight. But I wanted to quickly tell you about walking through or going to the airport, San Francisco, along with DFW.
Your slave rape training? Tell us about it, Lance.
Yes. Well, I was the only one out of my family wearing the 9/11 was an inside job shirt. My brother got body scanned. My parents refused it, and they both got the pat down, and they were trying to make light of it, oh, this isn't a big deal. Well, they told my mom she had explosives on her, and she's like, what? This is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's all about how you're guilty. Never checking them, though, who have all this predisposed behavior towards criminality, pretty soon it's like